Hello guys, this is Six Pools Trading. Today we'll be going over a webinar that we had a couple of days ago in collaboration with AMP Global and SteriTrader. This is basically an overview of the SteriTrader platform with Dirk Hilger, which is the CEO of SteriTrader.
Good morning here from Germany, and thank you, Matt, for the small introduction of my person and of this webinar. So welcome everybody here in the webinar about SteriTrader interface for MetaTrader 5. So as you can hear, I'm not a native speaker, and this is really my very first webinar in English. So at least I hope you're gonna understand everything what I'm going to explain and going to show you about the software. And if I'm going to do some mistakes, I'm sure I will. So please apologize as upfront. As said before, I'm not a native, so I try to do it as good as possible. And I looked around a bit about the people who are in this webinar, who are attending. And I saw already there are not so many people that know me. So maybe it's also a good idea to introduce myself a little bit. This is me, as you can see. My name is Dirk Hilger, as I said before, and this is a short biography of me. As you see, I started already with programming and stuff like that in the 80s. So this means I'm pretty old somehow, and but not too much about me. It's just to show you I also have very long experience in trading and so on already, which lasts back to the 90s. And SteriTrader just started somewhere, I think it was 5 years, 6 years ago, where the beginning was of SteriTrader, and it was never planned as a commercial platform. It was at the beginning, it was just some functions to support my own trading. But in the end, it came out like that. So now we have, I think, a pretty good product. It's not only an enhancement for MetaTrader 5 or MetaTrader in general, it's more an interface which covers the MetaTrader almost at all. Okay, now I'm going to show you my screen where you can see already that the SteriTrader is loaded. This is what it looks like after you've been installing SteriTrader, and you simply open up the chart, just like that. When installation process is done, you see some symbols here, of course, as it was before. And as soon as you open a new chart, you see already that SteriTrader is loaded immediately. And what I'm going to do is I try to talk a bit about the panel, the functions, and what SteriTrader in general is. If you have some questions in between, just write it in the box, and I'm going to try to read it in real time and to answer it, of course, as good as possible. Okay, so what you see here is on the right side, this is the main panel of SteriTrader. And as you also can see, MetaTrader looks still almost the same, but it covers the chart on the right side. And on the left side, you also have in the left upper corner, there's the logo of SteriTrader. It's not only the logo and the clock, but I'm going to explain a little bit more about the functions over there later. So on the right side, the panel. This is the main, let's say the control panel of it all. And you can collapse it like that. And you also can show statistical stuff by clicking on this flap here on this side. For example, when you look at this moment, how can I place an order? Because there is nowhere a buy or sell button or something like that. It's a bit different in view of design. And you maybe can see, I hope you can see it here, and it's not too small. If the screen is too small, please let me know If the letters are too small, I also can increase it a bit for you to make it easier to read. Here you see the price. For example, this is the Dow Jones. It's the YM future, which I just opened here. And you see the price current of the future here in the upper right corner. And for example, to go market, yeah. For example, if you want to buy one contract, you simply select the size or the amount of contracts you want to trade. And on the left side, as soon as you move the mouse button down, it turns green. And when you hover the mouse to the right side, it turns red. And as soon as I release the mouse, I'm either short or long. Yeah, for example, if I just release the mouse, you see position was opened. You see it also in the terminal, in the toolbox here of MetaTrader. And of course, we can increase this and zoom this. Let's do it like that. I think it's easier to understand and to see what happened. As you see, now here's the position which was just opened because I've been clicking on the buy side of the price panel. And the stop loss was already set because there was a stop loss value entered of 10. This means 10 points in this case. And it was sent immediately when I've been opening up the position, when I've been sending the position. Yeah. So this is why the stop loss here was 10 points. And you can simply turn it off, turn it on by just clicking on the SL button. And same with take profit. Now it's set to 20 points. You can turn it on or off by clicking. You can also use the mouse to simply create a take profit visually. For example, move it over there. How did I do this? Simply move the mouse on the label here and then move it upwards or downwards is in this case, because it's a buy position, downwards is a stop loss and upwards would be a take profit. Yeah, and of course you can also move and delete it here and replace it all the time. It doesn't matter at all where you click. So there are a couple of possibilities how to control positions, and so I liked the visual method most. So of course you can also enter numbers here and you can move it stepwise by simply clicking down and the up and down buttons as well. So there are a couple of possibilities how to control this. And for example, if you want to close such a position, you could, as you see, the tooltip shows it as well. You simply can click on the X, or you can click flat, or another way would be, currently we are long with one contract. Of course, I could also sell one contract. It would be simply the same. Yeah. And of course, the other direction is the same. For example, when I go short, let's do it like that. And what you saw already when I was clicking here in the strip, left side is a long order, the right side is short order. In this case, when I click above the price, of course, it would be a sell limit. Same stuff. Yeah, simply as long as you don't release the mouse, nothing happens. And on the other side here, it would be a sell stop order, of course. And same with long. You can also place long orders like that and like that. Okay, I will check the questions sometimes in between. Okay. There's no confirmation for the orders, is asked here. So yeah, that's right. There's no additional confirmation, so you don't have to enter somewhere OK or hit OK or something like that. So this means, in view of scalping, this is of course the quickest way to trade. And of course, you also have to be careful. So this means as soon as you release the mouse, this is your confirmation that the orders is going to be sent to the broker. So yes, to answer the question, there's no additional confirmation necessary. So once again, as you saw it here with the orders, as soon as I place it, as I click it, it's in. Yeah. So no additional confirmation. But I think all the scalpers here who do scalping would be very glad about such a function, because when you do scalping, the main important thing is that you have to be quick, of course. And maybe you can hear it already. I came from scalping when I did day trading, and mainly I really did scalping, and I was missing such functions in other platforms, and that's where it simply came from someday. And but anyway, there are a couple of functions more, and let me explain it step by step. Okay, we're now short. I'm going to show you something else, which I showed before already. When you click on the right side here on this small arrow, the statistics open up. So, and now you can see this were the past trades, and this is the current trade. So this means pool statistics always shows information about the current trade, and session about the session, or for example, current week, intraday, year, and so on, or all time. And it's preset to session, and session is, you can define by yourself what a session is. If as soon as you click reset, the session is over. So this means you can start a session, for example, every day at noon, and terminate it at noon as well. So you're not, so you don't need to wait until, for example, a day or something is over. If you have your own session times, you simply can do it here. Or for example, when you do coaching, or you follow a strategy over a specific period, you simply can use it that way as well, and define by yourself when such a session is over and when it makes sense to examine somehow the results and so on. And but in view of the pool statistics, it's like that. So I've been waiting now till the position went to loss a bit, because, for example, when I open a new short position afterwards, so you can see now I'm short with 2 contracts, and my break even, this is always the break even, of course. It moved up a bit, yeah, because I've been selling at this position somewhere and somewhere over here, so the break even simply moved up. And I hope we're going to have a little bit more volatility here, because I would like to explain what it's about, the trade PL and the pool PL. At the moment, you see the trade PL, it's 72 euros or dollars. I'm not sure if this is a euro or dollar account, but anyway, it's now around about 80, and it's the same as pool PL. What does it mean? In the toolbox of MetaTrader, you see the same amount as you see here, but just for the moment. And sometimes, for example, when you do scaling, so this means when you work with several particular positions, and you open up trades, and not trades, sorry, you open positions at different positions in the market, yeah, at different prices in the market, and you close particularly. So it's a kind of a confusion that you're going to have, because you don't know always where your break even really is. So of course you see your break even of the currently open positions, but you don't see how much is it really, for example, when you've been closing already some particular positions in between. And I'm trying to force this, so please don't make this rate as well. It's just for demonstration purposes. I hope for the moment that it just goes down just a bit, because then you will see what I'm explaining here about the difference of trade PL and pool PL. Trade PL, let me explain it like that. A trade is always calculated from the very first position until you are flat. So, and this means if you're dealing with particular positions, so a trade and a position is not always the same. And maybe I just need a couple of points here. Come on now. Maybe you can already guess what I'm going to explain. Let me try it like that. Okay, I sold a position over here, one contract, and now I buy it back. Okay, now you see already there's a difference. The trade PL at the moment is 56 and the pool PL is 27. So you see the pool PL is always what is also shown in MetaTrader in the toolbox here. But the difference is, of course, my trade PL is a little bit worse because I already closed a particular position in loss in this moment. And this is calculated by the trade PL as well. So this means when you, for example, deal with 10 positions in one trade, so this can differ heavily. So this means a difference between trade PL and pool PL can be somehow drastically as well. So, but this helps you to give an overview, to keep the overview of what you're currently really trading, especially when it's a longer trade. For example, when you do a swing or a bigger position trade during a whole day, so you don't need to write down anything, how many particular positions you've been closing in the meanwhile and stuff like that. You simply have it here. Yeah, and this is where this difference comes from. For example, I buy back one more, and you see the difference is even bigger than it was before. The other thing is you don't only have numbers here, you can also show it visually. For this, click on the logo and then on trading, on terminal, and then you have a trade BE line. So this means if you're going to use this, you see, give me one tick more, the trade break even is somewhere here. So this means the price of the Dow has to move at least to the trade BE line to be break even. So not to be in loss anymore. So you don't, in this way, you just have an additional method to see visually where your break even is and where the price has to move. And you have the numbers over here as shown before. So I think this is pretty much helpful when you do scalping, or as mentioned before, when you do position trades which last a little bit longer. Yeah. Okay, once again, click on the logo. You'll find some internal settings and you find some tabs here. And terminal is one of the tabs. The terminal is all what's about the terminal, the trade terminal here. And you can set up a couple of things here. And one of these settings is the trade BE line. Okay, just turn it off for the moment. And I just leave the last position in the trade. Okay, I will check the questions once again. I cannot get your screen resolution. Good enough to rebalance. Okay, just someone has been writing that he cannot recognize the content of the buttons and so on. Okay, is everybody able to see the content, or do you have some trouble to read it because it's too small? Okay, sometimes it's clear and then it's a bit blurry, quite blurry. That's not so good. Okay, it could be that it's a matter of internet connection. I'm not sure, but I cannot really control it from here because the resolution is just HD and nothing special. So it should be readable actually for everybody. Okay, I can try to enlarge it a bit. You can also try to change the color. Maybe this helps as well. Let's give it a try. Is this easier to read? Okay. Let's do it like that. Maybe this is a bit better. I'm not sure, but we can at least try it. And this was just the preset colors. As you see, I can also, of course, apply own colors and other templates and so on. Okay, now you see, just to continue where we've been starting before, I can also try to make it a little bit bigger. Let's just give it a try. We have all options here. So now it's as big as possible, almost. Okay, now you see, currently we are already in profit here in this trade, and but still there's a difference, yeah, between what we have pool PL and trade PL. Okay, and now I'm going to try to show you some other things here. The pool, yeah, it's this panel. So this means the pool panel, here you control always your currently open trade. So as showed before, you have stop loss, activation, deactivation, as well as take profit and so on. But you also have a couple of other things here. Flat, of course, I think you can imagine this, would simply close the trade. So the trade, not only the position, if you have several positions in this trade, it will close them all. Reset, this means, and as you can see, there are always tooltips where a brief explanation is already shown on the screen. So this means closes all position, deletes orders, and terminates any automation processes. So this means this is kind of a panic button, yeah. So when you don't know what's going on, but you're pressing reset, you can be sure you're gonna get rid of all the orders and position is closed and everything is terminated. So this is what reset is for. Flat, as mentioned, simply close the position. These buttons in green and in red, and this is simply to delete the orders. So this means when I click on the green X, all the buy orders are deleted, and when I click on the red X, all the sell orders are deleted. And RV is reverse. So this means no matter how big my position is, as soon as I click on the reverse, I turn the direction of my trade. In this case, I'm short, and if I would click reverse, I would be long afterwards. This about the buttons, but what we also have here is we have a kind of some functions that help you to manage your trade somehow automatically. One of those is BE safe. So this means you can let StereoTrader save your break-even position. And in this case, we have a break-even safe value of 10. And this means as soon as the trade is 10 points in profit, the break-even safe function would be triggered. But now it's not activated. But let me do it like that. I simply enter another value. So we already, oh, it's already 20 points. Let me give a bit more. Okay, can see here as well, 25 points currently in profit. And as soon as it hits the barrier of 30 points, so you will see, let's do it like that, 4 points less, or I can simply force this a bit. So come down 3 points. Let's give him a chance to do this automatically. Should not take that long, but it's always when you try to demonstrate something, it's always like that. You're always waiting for 1 or 2 points, and yeah, the longer it takes, the funnier it gets. But that's just a live market. So okay, maybe in the meanwhile I can already explain something else. This is just a break-even functionality, and so this means as soon as the it's not going down anymore. As soon as the trade is in profit for 20 points, so this means the stop loss would be moved to break even plus a value of 2 points. Yeah, so this means it's not just to save the break even, it's also to guarantee a bit of a profit if you want it to be handled like that. So this means because I've been adding 2 points here, so the stop loss would be moved to break even minus 2 points. Minus because I'm short, that's all. But now it's not doing nothing in our direction, so I simply have to wait a bit. We just need 10 points down. Let's see if we're going to get it. It's now just a couple of seconds to finish the 30-minute candle. Let's see if we get some. If not, we... Sorry. Okay, anyway, these are... Okay, this is the 15-minute chart. Maybe we get an impulse down. Okay, nothing happens. So 9 points left. I will change the value a bit just to try to force this. Okay, now you saw it. Yeah, we've been in profit for 15 points, and the break even, the stop loss moved to break even minus 2 points, and this was done automatically because the value was set like that here with 15 points. Another thing is, so this is a way, of course, when the market moves quite fast, you have a simple automatic functionality here, which helps you to protect your position. Another thing is, as you can read it already, is the trail. So, and I've been moving already the line here. Maybe you've been wondering what this is. This is my trail trigger. So this means when I move this trigger, for example, to this point, yeah, and I activate trail, you see the value here is 20 points, and it moves, it changes as soon as I move the line here. It's synchronized. So this means you also can enter the value here if you want. And it means as long as trail is activated here and the trigger is not reached, but as soon as the trigger is reached, the trail would start. And in this case, I have a trailing method, which is the easiest of them all. This means straight, means the trailing stop would follow the price simply straight in a distance of 5 points. So this means if the price is coming down to this trigger, the stop loss would move 5 points above the current price, above because we are short, and in view of a long trades, of course, it's just vice versa. So now you see we have both. The break-even safe is reached for the first, and if it's going to move down a little bit more, you will also see that the trailing stop is triggered then. So, and as you see already, these both functions are completely independent. So this means break-even safe is completely independent from the trail, and you can turn off both or just one of them, so it doesn't matter. So now let's see what happens. Now you see the stop loss. Yeah, it's 5 points behind the peak. And of course, this is just the most simple trailing stop. It does not make so much sense. There are other trailing stops as well, which help you much more to follow direction of a price. And you can also, of course, turn it off anytime you want. Now I was a bit too slow, but anyway, I think I could show pretty good what this function does. You also have, oh, I'm sorry. You also have different types of trading stops. Straight, as mentioned, is the most simple. So let me simply try to open another position. Maybe this is not a good idea, we will see. In view of scalping again, there is a pretty interesting trading stop, which is called TA. TA means tick average. So this means, as you can see here, the price is always moving up and down just a little bit, just 1, 2, 3 points, and so on. And this is based on the tick chart, which is below, of course, every candle. And TA means this is a tick average. So it does an average of all the last ticks, and the ticks occur always when there's a new deal. So this means the price is just moving up and down a little bit, and the average of 6 means it just combines the last 6 ticks and calculates an average based on this price, and, for example, trails the trading stop based on this. And maybe we can, if we get a bit more motion, you will see when you use this trading stop instead of straight makes absolutely no sense in my opinion. You will see that the trading stop, the stop loss, is moving much more smooth than it does with straight. But once again, I'm not sure if we will be triggered here or it's just now pulling up. But anyway, I'm sure I can demonstrate it later if it's not doing right now. TA6, as mentioned, is an average of 6. You also have a TA12 and TA20. It depends on, of course, on the volatility that you currently have. And there's also some other trading stops like SMA, EMA, and some others which are based on outer bars, and for example PLH peak and PLH close, and priors as well. So this means StereoTrader is also able to calculate outside bars and create a trading stop based on that. This is pretty much interesting because you simply have a statistical advantage when you do stuff like that, and you should really test it with a demo account and compare your exits with the exits that the StereoTrader trading stops can create, especially when you are in a trend. Yeah, when you're in a market like this, for example, which is not really a trend at the moment. Maybe it's intraday kind of short, but when you look a bit higher, so it's not that clearly short as it could be, yeah. And but for example, when you have a trend motion like this, and maybe you said you've been short here yesterday, and these are hourly candles, so this trading stop would still be active and would not have been triggered. For example, the Priax, yeah. So this means it always searches for outside bars at Priax trading stop. So this means this was one, the next one was one, and this was one. So, and the trading stop would move like that. Here, outside bar, outside bar, outside bar. And the rest is just inside bars, and the trading stop would not take care about it at all. So this means the trading stop would still be here, and nothing would have been happened since yesterday. And as soon as there's the next outside bar, so this means an outside bar in this case would be, we need a candle which closes below the which closes below the latest low of the last outside bar, which was this. Yeah, for example, if it closes here, it would be an outside bar, and the trading stop would then move to this point. And so you can easily follow a trend and increase your profits as long as you're patient enough. And I think this is a problem of many traders, to be patient enough to get such bigger moves. And as mentioned before, simply you should try trading stops like that, exit methods like that, and compare it with your own results, and then think it over and figure out in which circumstances they make sense or not. In my opinion, in a movement like that, currently we are at the low, maybe there's going to be a peak, and for scalping, of course, TA trading stops are, in my opinion, the best here. And of course, and as mentioned before, for following trend motions, not motions, or trend movements, the Priax and PLH peak are the best trading stops. So you can all control this here in the pool panel, trading stops, the break-even safe functionality that I've been showing before, as well as stop loss and take profit. And maybe go back just one step. And over here, as mentioned, you can simply select your size of the amount of the contracts that you want to trade here. And in view of statistics on the right side, once again, you can see here your history, and this is the average. You can also switch to bars, so this shows your particular trades that you had here, or a graph like that. So let's go ahead a little bit to the other panels. I leave this in, maybe we will be triggered. Let me try to force this a bit. It's just a demo account, so I don't care. And if this is going to be triggered, let me set it up. 5 points distance, TA6 is good for the moment, and you will see what happens. In the meanwhile, I'm going to explain the other panels a little bit. New order, as you can imagine, it affects all the properties of a new order. So, and there are a couple of attributes you can see here. And once again, as soon as you move the mouse on the button, you already see a brief explanation of the functionality behind. So this means CS, just in short, is when an order has such an attribute CS and the order is filled, it will cancel all Zipling orders. This means if I have a short order here and I have a short order here, and I want to just that one of these orders is filled, I simply click the CS, and as soon one is filled, the other is going to be deleted. And this is cancel Zipling. On the other side, you have cancel opposite orders. This means when, of course, when I have a short order and a long order, and the attribute is cancel opposite, of course, this means as soon as the order is filled, the long orders would be canceled. And RV means reverse. So what does that mean? You have also a reverse button here, but it's also possible to create a reversing order. So this means when I, for example, set a long order here with just one contract, and I turn on the reverse option, it's the same as clicking here. When I turn this on, it would not take care about the amount of positions, the amount of contracts that I have in my trade. It simply would reverse it, no matter how many these are. So this means when the price is coming down, it would close first all the orders on the other side, all the shorts, and open one as long. So you also don't have to calculate anything, and you simply can also put some others in between, but you can be sure from this point on your shorts are all closed, but you are going to be long because reverse is activated. Yeah, is this understandable so far? And as you could see here before, if you're watching this video afterwards and you're not live, you simply can rewind back a bit. When I've been using the cancel same attribute, one of these short orders was filled and the other was canceled because the CS was activated for the new order. Another feature in StereoTrader, which is very much liked by the users, is the limit pullback. Limit pullback means all the limit orders that you place here, you can see it as well. There's no order here in the toolbox, actually, yeah. Because normal way would be as soon as I place an order here, it should appear in the toolbox because it's sent to the broker server, but it's not the case here. Because all the limit orders, and by default, all the orders that you place here are managed by StereoTrader only. And I think this is quite important because all these attributes are not always available when all the orders are sent to the broker server and when the broker takes care about these orders. And well, let me explain it like that. You can see here also an MIT button. Yeah, this means market if touched. Not managed if touched, it's market if touched. So this means this option was on. And because of that, the orders are not sent to the broker service. If I turn this off, you will see, we take a look here. For example, let's do a buy stop. Yeah, it would appear here as well. But when I turn this off, it would not appear, and it's only managed by StereoTrader. But as mentioned before, I have much more possibilities and much more attributes which I can apply in such a case. And to come back to the limit pullback, this means limit pullback, when I place a long order here, it would not be filled. I hope I can show this and we get the volatility. And this means, go a bit deeper, it would not be filled at this level. For example, buy limit, to fill a buy limit order at 700, 26,700. The ask, let me big bidder. Okay, so this is my ask, this is my bid, my current. To fill a buy limit at 700, the ask, so this means this one needs to hit the level, not only the bid. Yeah, this is first thing. The other thing is, you all notice what happens sometimes. The price is coming down, finds my limit, and simply falls through. And especially when there's high volatility, it simply happens like that, and you cannot be quick enough manually to to manage such levels. And limit pullback, this means in this case there's a value of 1. Just to demonstrate it, let's give it a value of 5. So this means a new order has a limit pullback of 5, and this means the price, the ask in this case, has not only to hit the level of the order, or it's like that, as soon as the level is hit and the order becomes a stop order. It's not a limit order then anymore, it becomes a stop order, and it's placed 5 points above the price. And this means when the price is going through this level very fast, very quick, the order would simply follow the price and would be filled as soon as the YM future here would turn back at least 5 points, and then it would be filled. So this, sorry. Yeah. Maybe you can hear it. I got a cold a bit, and yeah, I don't want to cough all the time. So that's why I have to get a sip of water from time to time and turn off my microphone. So I'm sorry for that. So once again, maybe the DAO could help us here a little, but it's not willing. Once again, it's not filled immediately. The price has to move back 5 points in our direction until the order gets filled. So this protects, this gives you a little bit more protection of your account, of the limit order, and so on. And the average is that you really have a market advantage in the market here, because that market simply moves like that sometimes. And this is, by the way, where it all started with StereoTrader, with this functionality, because it helps you to protect when the market squeezes, especially like that. Sometimes you have motions like these. For example, yesterday evening, when the Dow Jones went down here to this level, this is the low of yesterday evening, it went up, I think it was 180 points in just a couple of seconds with 1 minute candle. Yeah, you see this? It was just a minute candle, which did almost all the way up. And in such case, for example, if your short order was here, I'm sure it would have been moved up by StereoTrader until the top almost. Yeah, because movements like that, when it squeezes, when there are news coming in, and whatever, there is no turning back. And this happens because the traders or the algorithms or whatever, because they kill short positions at once, and the market just moves one direction, just moves one and does not come back. And if you have a normal limit order and a stop order, a stop loss somewhere in between, you simply run into loss, and that's it. And you have no chance to trade a market like that. Maybe we can see it here a little bit better when I go to the minute chart. I'm not sure, but let's at least give it a try. Yeah, this was the candle. Bap. And this is where the limit pull back order will save your account. Okay. As you can see here, just by the way, when you click this, you can hide StereoTrader entirely. What we also have, okay, step by step. This is the panel for new orders. So this means as these settings only affect new orders, not existing orders, not for editing orders. Yeah, you also can trail orders. This means all the trading stops that you have over here, you can also apply a trail to any order. Yeah, and follow the price. For example, when you have to come back to the motion of yesterday evening, for example, if you have a picture like this, okay, here we go. If you have a picture like this, yeah, where the minute candles move down, 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 down. So, and there's one pup which gets them all. You can also, for example, place a sell stop order just above the top of the last minute candle, and you simply can automate this process by simply trailing the order. So this means if you want to go long here, or you find a long entry and you see such a picture, for me it's kind of typical, because when I saw this, I thought by myself, oh, this won't go down. I'm awaiting something completely different, because this is kind of typical. It just moves down, 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 and down, and then comes one guy and buys them all. In such case, you could simply create a buy stop order and let this order trail always on the top of the last minute candle. It would move like that, of course, not in a distance of 1 point, but maybe 5-6 points. Yeah, you won't have to do nothing, just wait what happens. If you believe in such a pattern, of course, and if you think it's a good idea to buy at the low, so you could do it like that, automated by simply trading such an order. So this means in this case, I could do it the other side, the other way around. I could choose, I'm not using this so often, so I hope I do it right. Periodic low high. So this is it. So periodic low high in the distance, for example, 5 points. And of course we have to activate it. And now you see, I can move the mouse, but the order does not move, because it shows already where the order would be placed. Yeah, this is because trading is activated. And now you will see, as soon as there's a new candle, which has a new high, and then just 10 seconds, you will see that the order will move automatically. You saw it? It was just 1 point, of course. Yeah, but this is the method or the trick how to do it like that. So if you think this is not going up and this will come down again, and you, for example, can use this trading method to trail orders. Okay, this is just for new orders. But if you want to edit an existing order, you have to use the panel edit cell, the edit order. It's now just because there's an order in here. Normally it looks like that, edit order. So this means if I have an order here and it's selected, you see already the text, the caption changes here, the title, and same here. Now you would edit the sell limit. When I click here, I would edit the buy limit. So maybe let me try. I will move away the stop loss, but for another reason. Maybe we can see the limit pullback functionality here. Maybe it hits the top, the last top, and you see I have a limit pullback of 5. I always can change this. Now when I'm editing these orders, I can change the attributes as long as the order is not filled. I can change the trading method and so on. And of course, I can also delete the order. Let's see what happens. At least I can demonstrate the limit pullback maybe. One tick, baby, come on. Now you see the level was reached and the order went down. So this means now you have time to think it over on the one side, and on the other side, you can also say, okay, I'm wait what happens, and I want to be filled at the top. Now it's I had a limit pullback of 5 points. Maybe it's too much for some markets, for example, for the DAX and scalping with the German DAX, it's too much, but for Dow Jones it could make sense. And if it squeezes now 20 points, 30 points, or whatever, we with our order would simply follow the squeeze and would get filled at the top. So there's, of course, it's now 12 o'clock. There's not so much volatility here, but maybe we will see it a little bit at least. We're still not filled because the market is trying to kick away this top. Still moving. Bit more, come on. And now you at least can imagine how this limit pullback functionality helps you when the market is kind of volatile. Yeah, when there are news are coming on, coming in. We're still not filled. With a normal limit order, you'd already be in loss here. Of course, not many points. But the functionality and the principle is the same. We're not in loss. We're simply not filled. And this is somehow our risk insurance. Let's give it just a minute until the minute is over, and then let's see what happens. Okay, there's not happening so much right now, but anyway, I'm glad that I could demonstrate what this function does. Okay, about exiting, there are also some other possibilities to exit a trade, not only trailing stops. It's also possible to define the exit by the maximum of loss or profit, and the equity, and of course as well a time range. Yeah, so these are kind of simple functions, but they also help a lot when you're waiting or when you're trading in the evening, or the market needs until the market closes to reach your target or whatever. Yeah, and you simply can define based on this a time window where you want to trade and when you want to be flat. As you could see, in the meanwhile, we've been filling here. Our order was filled at the top, and because of the limit pullback, and of course now this was not so many points, but anyway, we didn't know if the market would move 30 points up or not. Yeah, it's just the principle is just the same, but it helps you to find the top of movement that we had here. Okay, these are some other order exit functionalities. There's also a strategic order. This is a bit too complicated for the very first webinar. I'm sure we're gonna have some more, and a friend of mine is specialized and focused on this kind of algorithmic trading, and I'm sure he's going to help me with a webinar or make his own webinar to explain the functionalities here. But another thing that we have, which we should at least mention here, is the chart. So this means this is kind of auto charting. I'm going back to the 5-minute candles. I'll turn this off. To the 5-minute candles. You see here already, this is a market profile, a volume profile that you have, and you can simply activate it and deactivate it by clicking VP. Yeah, as well you have the last price, the bid and ask here in short, and the bar time if you want. So this means the current bar needs 2 minutes roundabout to be finished. So if your trading is based on time, this would be very helpful as well. You can do some navigations here, of course. So move through the chart, and you have this navigation button over here. This does simply following. If it's deactivated, it's the normal display of MetaTrader. Why is it not following here? It's the normal display of MetaTrader. So it's automatically scaled. And when you turn this off, when you turn this on, you can do some free scaling. Yeah. And there's another option when you press Control, yeah, and you click on this button, you get a scalping scale. So this means, as you see here, it's quite big, and to go back, simply click it again. But with Control, it's like that, and it also helps you when you, for example, want to show the depth of market. Yeah, because otherwise you cannot read the amount of contracts that you have here in the book. But this way, you can easily switch between a bigger view and a macro view like that. Okay, a bit smaller. Okay, once again, this is the volume profile, and it's based on the contract. So this means you see here, it always starts somehow at a new day, but you can simply define the time by yourself. Click on the logo, go on symbol, and you see here the profile data, which means you can change the data also if you want. So if you don't want to start at midnight, in this case with YM, you could also start, say it like that, 8 in the morning. You see it all moves a little bit to the right. So, and then the volume and so on will be calculated from 8 in the morning. But that's not all. It's not only, these times are not only about the volume, it's about everything. So what does it mean? You have some additional stuff here. For example, high and low. Yeah, the high and low is also based on the specific time that you've been specifying at the setup, and also previous day, of course, but also FIBOs, automated FIBOs, intraday, previous day, current week, previous week, yeah, and all this stuff is all based, once again, on the time settings that you have here. So if you don't care about what happened in the night, if you just want to know what happened in a specific time, simply enter these values here, and then you have as well not only the FIBOs, also the pivot points and so on, which are calculated on this specific time. And I think it's quite helpful, especially on if you want to trade just the stock market times. And if you're trading DAX, for example, which has a very long stock market time, and there are many traders who only use these values, it could make sense, of course, and at least you have the possibility to do it like that. So, and what you also have is here is a panel for user objects. This means when you draw a line, you see the line is automatically labeled that, yeah, and You can turn them on and off, all the user objects at once. So if you like to draw a lot, and if you're going to be confused, so you simply can turn them off, turn them on all the time. And if you want to delete them all, you can delete them by clicking simply on the X, and then they are gone. Yeah. Furthermore, you have, but for this I have to go back again to the normal time settings. Furthermore, you have some symbol lines. Let me close this trades. So which show you stock market close, future open, and so on. And this can also help you to find specific support and resist levels without drawing any lines manually. Okay, I think these were the main functions of StereoTrader in around about 1 hour. And I'm sure, as mentioned before, we're going to make some additional webinars in the future and with some other partners of mine. And was just my job here in this case, to give the very first introduction about StereoTrader, and I hope at least I could help a bit. Maybe just one thing you see on the left side, in the navigator, there we will find a folder StereoTrader, and you will find a couple of add-ons for StereoTrader. StereoTrader is not an add-on, as mentioned in the beginning. StereoTrader is rather an interface for MetaTrader, but there are also some specific add-ons for StereoTrader. So this means you can, if you are familiar with programming, with developing software, there's also an API which you can use to create own indicators and robots and so on for StereoTrader, and to use StereoTrader for automatic trading or semi-automatic trading. And this is possible. And based on this, there are a couple of tools which are developed by this API, and you simply can drag it on the chart and to see what these add-ons can do. And there are a couple of samples as well. Here's a category which is called tools. You have, for example, correlator. So this helps you to measure two markets. For example, you have Heikin-Ashi candles. You have a scalping agent, which helps you to get in a trade based on time frame. And for example, you also have an ATR bracket, which puts bracket orders based on the ATR around the prices. You have, I even don't know what this all is. some of them are quite old. And what is also very helpful is X-frame, which is used by many people. It simply shows you another candle of another time frame in the back. So this means you can here combine. I'm here in a 15-minute chart. It makes no sense to combine 5 bars. But for example, if I want to see the hour chart in the back of the 15-minute chart, I simply use the value of 4. So this means 4 times 15 minutes bars is an hour bar. And you also can, how should I say? You can limit the trading hours. So what does that mean? In this case, if I just want to see the time of the stock market, when the stock market is traded, I could simply enter the trading hours here. So you see in the background, this is only the stock market times. So this can help you, of course, as well, to additionally separate the stock market time from the future time. Okay, just an example. As you saw, you simply drag it from here on the chart, and then it's going to be activated. Maybe one word: if you don't find X-frame from the very first beginning, to install such add-ons, click on the logo, go to General, click on Installation Manager. You won't see this. And here simply you can select which of the add-ons you want to install. And here you see X-Frame. X-Frame is not installed by default, so you need to install it manually. As well as some other add-ons. There's a new one, MT-on Live Signal, which is available since last week, which helps you to display trends and based on the Dow theory, as well as VPOC, which also adds a VWAP, a volume weighted average price to the market profile, and stuff like that. Just one example, which I can show you. This is the new one, and it helps you to visualize trends, signal trends and upper trends, and also helps you to find better entry and so on. And this is also just one add-on for Stereo Trader, but also, as mentioned before, the VPOC. And it could be that I don't have the right version here on my computer. Yeah, it seems like that. Okay, so I think we're done for the moment. Before it's gonna get too much, I think we should break up here. Matt, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Dirk. I certainly learned a lot, especially with these new add-ons. I was not really familiar with them. They look very interesting. I see we did have a few questions. I just wanted to go over before we go. There was someone who was having some issues uninstalling the Stereo Trader. So if you could just please explain very briefly how they could uninstall the Stereo Trader, that would be great.
Yeah, actually, my mouse is not reacting on the. Okay. Yeah, currently, you're right. There's no automatic deinstallation process of Stereo Trader, but if you, let me say it like that, if you're not disturbed by the folders that Stereo Trader created, you can remove Stereo Trader like that if you simply hold Control key and click on the logo, and then the Stereo Trader is gone. And if you afterwards, when Stereo Trader is gone, do a right click on the chart and then templates and then save template, and you simply save it to default TPL. If you do it like that, and when you open up a chart, you don't see the Stereo Trader anymore.
Thank you very much for that. I'm sure Stereo Trader has so many features that we could do tens of webinars about it. So we're definitely going to be organizing more webinars for you guys later on. We apologize for the issue we had in the beginning with the quality. Some of the letters were a little bit blurry, but after that, everything seemed to be more clear. Please go ahead and re-watch the webinar after we finish if you want to watch some parts that you missed. And apart from that, we'll keep the webinar. I'll keep the webinar running for another 5 minutes after we finish, so you can post some questions and all that. And what I'll do right now is I will post. You'll see a pop-up on your screen where you can actually install Stereo Trader if you do not have it already. So you will see it pop up on your screen right now. So if you go ahead here, you'll find the how to install Stereo Trader. If you have any issues, you could just send us an email at support@ampglobal.com and we'll help you out. So you should see the pop-up right now in your screen. You can go ahead there and install Stereo Trader. And also, if you do not have an account with AMP Global, you can also go ahead and try out our MT5 demo. So I'll post that as well. So you can install MT5 demo for AMP Global. You can check it out. You could test it at the same time with StereoTrader. Of course, if you have any questions, as I said, you can send us an email at support@ampglobals.com. Okay. I see there's a few more questions coming in. What I'll do, as I said, I'll keep the webinar open for another 5-10 minutes. I'll go through all the questions. I'll try to reply to everyone. And as I said, if you want to rewatch the webinar, you can just come back to this link after we finish, and you can still post questions. So if you post a question now and you have something to do, you can come back to this room maybe tomorrow or the day after, and you'll find our reply there. So if there's anything you want to ask, you could just post it on the chat. But apart from that, I want to thank everybody that took time to come out and watch this webinar. I also want to thank Dirk. Keep up the good job. This is an amazing platform. But apart from that, that's it for me. And I hope you'll have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. From my side as well, thank you very much for joining this webinar, and thank you, Matt and AMP, for organizing this. And yeah, from my side, just I want to say goodbye, good trades, take care on you, and see you soon.